Good morning. We are doing the Bhagavad Gita satsang. This is chapter 6 and verse 36 onwards. But like I had said, we will be just doing a small recap of what we did last time. So in the initial first 5-10 minutes, I will devote for that. Then we will progress to the next verse. So let me do a recap of verse 35. Shri Bhagavan said the mind is restless, no doubt, and difficult to curb. But it can be brought under control by repeated practice and by exercise of dispassion, O son of Kunti. Sri Krishna acknowledges that mind is the toughest thing to overcome, which is also mentioned in the by Vashishta Muni. Vashishta Muni had told Sri Ram that if you tell me that you can lift the entire Himalayas, I will believe in you. If you say that you have drunk the entire water from the oceans, I will still believe you. But if you tell me that you have overcome the mind, I will not believe you. Imagine, Vashishta Muni is telling Sri Ram this. That means you can imagine, even if the avatar of the divine comes on earth, overcoming the mind is the most difficult thing even for that avatar. You have seen the other examples are there. The example of Jesus Christ. Now Jesus Christ couldn't overcome his mind, and so he had to go to the desert to sit over there for many days so that he can overcome his mind. And even then, the question which Jesus asked his Father in heaven, why me? So you can imagine, if Jesus is asking his Father in heaven, why me? Sri Ram is telling Vashishta Muni, or Vashishta Muni is telling Sri Ram that you cannot overcome your mind. It's very difficult. Sri Krishna is saying the same thing over here. Remember, Sri Krishna is the Purna avatar. And as a Purna avatar, he is telling Arjuna, I know that the mind is the most difficult thing to overcome in this world. But yet it can be overcome by means of sadhana, which means repeated practice. I was telling you all last time that you cannot say that I need rest, I need a holiday, I need a break. These sentences should be removed from your life. Don't say that I feel tired, I want a break. If you are on the path of spiritual, every day is a new day and you cannot be tired. So the idea that when you are in spiritual, you have no freedom there for saying these words. Understand this right in the beginning itself. There are no exceptions. Remember, you are at war. Imagine there is a war going on between two countries. Okay? Do you think one country will say, you see, today I have Diwali, so we will take one day off. Or tomorrow we will start the fight once again. I don't think China is going to say the same. Oh, ours is a new year, Chinese New Year. We need that one day off. No, nobody is going to give off. Path of spiritual is like war. It is every day, every minute, every second. You have to be on your toes. You cannot make a single moment exception in your life. And that is the reason why he says intense sadhana is required. So every day you have to be in that perfect state of being. No deterring, no falling down. So if you decide for yourself that you are going to wake up at a certain hour, it is important to wake up before that hour. And not focused on your, oh, today my alarm didn't go off. You know what happened? I must have set the alarm and the alarm must not have gone off. Well, you can't give reasons like that. Your alarm is going off and not going off doesn't matter. Your inner alarm is working. We will learn very shortly how Krishna describes that inner alarm. Because those who are on the path of spiritual, they have these instruments within them. Everything is within. So we will learn in one verse very shortly. But now you understand the kind of intensity that is required from you, those who are actually interested in the path of spiritual. You cannot take a day off. You cannot say that I will do this tomorrow. You cannot. It has to be done in the specific time. You have to deliver. You know, what happens is, oh, I'm sorry, I was a little late, the signal was not there. You can't give that reason. Signal was not there. The flight is anyway going to take off. If the flight is gone, you are finished, isn't it? And in today's day and age, pandemic, you have to be at least 3 hours before at the airport. How can you give this reason? So please understand. Here he says, it has to be repeated practice. Repeated practice means what? Not a single day has to be left. Oh, last night I came very late, so I am very tired. It doesn't matter. If your waking up time is X, whatever, 4 o'clock in the morning, you have to be awake at that time. Doesn't mean that you put on an alarm and go to sleep. Yesterday, day before yesterday, I had a very funny incident over here. They have come up with an app. Now in that app, what you do is, you take the last picture that you saw in the night. Okay? And then you set the alarm. Now till you do not go and click the same picture in the morning, the alarm is still on. Okay? So here is this young boy. He will do, what he does is, he takes a picture of something in the night, puts on the alarm, goes to sleep, wakes up at that hour, takes the picture again, goes and wakes up his parent. Hello, wake up. And he falls asleep over there itself. So what is the point in having an alarm when you are going to be falling asleep again? You got the point? It doesn't work. The alarm has been set so that you wake up, not go and wake up somebody else. Got it? So it is a very funny thing. You can't have exceptions like that. So it was a funny incident, of course. Young people are allowed a certain amount of leeway. Older that you are not allowed 1 minute also. See, those who are, now you will ask me, what do you mean by older? About 20 years, okay? I know none of you all are below 20. So those who are about 20, there should be no exceptions for you. So you better see to it that you get up early. So Krishna's words are very clear. He says this, repeated practice. You have to do repeated practice. And without the repeated practice, you can never succeed. And it has to be exercising dispassion. You are not doing it because you are passionate about it, but you have to do it dispassionately. I am getting up because I want to do my exercise, because you see, look at my stomach, it's all come out. Now I want to go for a jog because of that. That is not the answer. You are not doing it because your stomach has come out. That is not the answer. Oh, I am just toning up my body. That's why I get up in the morning. Once your body is toned, you will sleep, is it? That is called passion. Dispassionately means don't give reasons. You can't give reasons, I'm a little, here little, see here. No. Your reasoning is not correct. It has to become clockwork precision habit, just like the sun and the moon. Got it? So I have finished my verse. Alright, so now we will move to the next one. We are doing Bhagavad Gita chapter 6. Now we are going to proceed to verse 36. Yoga is difficult of achievement by one whose mind is not subdued by him. However, one who has the mind under one's control and is ceaselessly striving, it can be easily attained through practice. Such is my conviction. Krishna is convinced himself, okay, that if you want to practice yoga, now please understand, yoga doesn't mean those, body contortion exercises or breathing and soham illa, no soham over here. Okay, your breath has to be perfect. Otherwise also. Yoga means union with the divine. There is a God inside of you. You know how disconnected you are with the God inside of you? You can't even see that. You can't even feel that God. You can't even have that, oh, is there a God inside of me? Of course, there is a God inside of you. You have never found him. The reason why you have never found him is because you always consider yourself as an average, below average human being. At least if you are an average human being, you will say, I can do it. A below average human being will be giving 1001 reasons for one thing not to be done. If you are that kind, then you understand where you stand. So you have to become I assume that you are a human being, alright? And that too an average human being, my assumptions. So you have to become godly. Search for that God inside. The mystery spot. Everything goes uphill. You know that or you don't know that? It's like the mystery spot. Everything goes uphill. So why is that? Your going inwards is important. Finding the God within is important and being one with him. If you are one with the divine inside, everything is a normal activity. For others, everything is a miracle. Do you get what I said? For you, if you are one with the divine inside of you, your work is normal. But for other people who are watching you, for them, it's a great achievement. I will tell you something that happened today in the morning. I was giving a satsang. So in the satsang, we were discussing about Das Bodh. Das Bodh is the book that I do in the night, in the evening time, 4:30. Now in that Das Bodh, I had said certain things. It was a desire, it's a lesson on desirelessness. You have to be devoid of desires, no desires at all. You can't say, I want to do this, I want to do that. So how does a person achieve that? Those who are on the path of spiritual, they have to become desireless. Alright? Which means you cannot be attached to anything in the world. No attachment of any kind. When you have no attachment of any kind, then you are free. But let us say you have a child, okay, or you have a husband or a wife. You have your mother or father. Now when you have these people in your life and you are in spiritual, your attachment towards them is quite a lot. You want to see that your parents are well looked after. You want to give them money. You want to send money home. You want to see to it that they are taken care of. If there is a problem in their life, you will take them to the doctor or the hospital. Okay? If you are staying close to them, then you will say, आज सब्जी लेके जाओ, कल दाल लेके जाना, परसों ये लेके जाना. You know the kind of thing that a mother and the children exchange? They will want to share food. If you are doing that, it is called attachment. Why is it so? I will give you the answer. When you are in spiritual, and not that wishy-washy kind of spiritual. The wishy-washy kind of spiritual is हम लोग गए थे भगवान को मिलने और देवी के दर्शन हो गए, हम लोग आ गए. I'm speaking in Hindi. If those who don't understand, I went to meet the goddess over there, in the temple. There Durga Puja was going on, and then we came home. वहाँ पर प्रसाद मिला. We got the prasad over there. It was very tasty. आज का खाना क्या है? What is there today to eat? Oh, dum aloo, very good. Mishti doi, very good. Luchi, dum aloo, mishti doi. Oh boy, yes sir. What do you mean by that? You are again going back to your material worldly thing. So you went to the temple. That 1 minute that goddess was there in front of you. After that, goddess went away. And then you have become an average human being, and then you are indulging in every material activity. So when you are attached to your parents, or you have a husband or a wife, and then you want to be in relation with them, okay, there is a problem because it evokes desires. Desires is the root cause of destruction in spiritual. You can never become free in your life. Krishna is going to explain this very shortly. I will continue there, don't worry. But let me explain this in the next 3 minutes. Now, what is most important? Attachment has to be removed. You have to see the whole world in the same eye. That means there has to be equanimity of mind, and there has to be equipoise. You cannot have attachment with anybody. If you are a married person, you cannot have relations with your husband or wife or whoever that is. You cannot. You cannot even sleep in the same room. There is a reason for that. What is the reason? I will tell you. Now let us say you are married to a person. That person is your husband. Okay? Can you have an affair outside with another man? Would anybody like it? How would you like it? How would your husband like it? They are not going to like it. And there is going to be a big fight, and there is going to be a big problem in the life. Right? Krishna is saying, when you are devoted to me, I become your first husband. I am the only husband that you have in this world. God is the only one for you. Then the one that you are married to, he becomes your second husband. Or your boyfriend or your paramour. That is going to be destructive. Did you understand this example or no? If you have one girlfriend and if you have another one at the side, your first girlfriend is going to give you a piece of mind. Maybe she'll come and murder you. Isn't it true? So this is what happens. That is why nuns, in the Christian thing, where the nuns, they are married to Jesus Christ. That is their husband. How can they have some other husband outside? Got it? That is why priests, nuns, and even in some other religion, they don't marry, they don't have to look at another woman or another man. For this reason, because if you are devoted to one, you cannot have another one in your life. Correct? That is not fidelity. That is infidelity. So that is not allowed. So devotion to God should be single pointed. Then how can you be devoted to your parents also? He is your parent. He is your husband. He is your brother. He is your sister. He is your husband, wife, anything that you want to call him. God is that. And then everybody else is outsider. Then how do you treat them? You can only treat them with an equal eye. Got it? Which means now you have your own son. If your son is getting married, you are very excited about it. But your neighbor's son is getting married, are you excited in the same way? No. Well, once you are in spiritual, you have to see everybody with an equal eye. That means you have to be equally doing the same thing for your son or for anybody else's son. Your husband becomes an average human being like any other human being. So if you love the whole world, you cannot have differentiation. And this is the meaning of the word. Detachment is this. If you have your set of parents, are you doing the same thing for other people's set of parents? No. Then you are attached. Then you can never be desireless. So this is what it means. So how do you have this equanimity of mind? Equanimity of mind can be achieved when you look at everything with an equal eye. You cannot have plus over here and minus over there. No. You cannot be attached to your husband, wife, brother, sister, children, grandparents, grandchildren, you name it. You cannot be attached to your friends also. That is why you have to get away from all these people. Why do we have to get away? Now, those who are not on the path of spiritual, but you think that they want to be in spiritual, why do you have to be in that? Understand one thing. In the material world, if you are having a girlfriend and if you are staying with her, live-in, they call it, live-in girlfriend. And then you have a live-out girlfriend also, somewhere, outside. Okay, because you are a great person, you are a Don Juan. You do all those things, okay? Or Tinder, Winder, all those things you are doing. On the side, that is your side business and this is your main business. Sir, one day you are going to get trashed by everybody. You know that. So, now what happens to this person who is having an affair outside or who is having children outside, who is having, oh, this is my son, and they have attachments. Attachment means even if your mind is disturbed this much, you are going to be meeting the same person over and over again. With the first girlfriend, so anyway, she is going to come next time with a big, hunter whip. And she's going to whip you. And you will become a horse at that time. Remember that. And she'll whip you. Chal dhanno. You got what I'm saying? Chal dhanno. So it is like that. She's going to whip you. And what happens to that other one? She is your Mannu. Next door. Chalo hum log race karte hain. Sir, it is going to be like that. You are going to get into trouble. Next life and the next and the next and the next and the next. Never ending story. So why bother about these other people? Just because of one idiot in your life, you are going to be again born with that same person. And the other person is going to be villain in your life. Villain, you understand? Biggest villain. Gabbar Singh. Like that. Why you want a Gabbar Singh in your life? Sholay ka dialogue bol raha. Anyway. So this is the reason why you have to avoid these kind of relationships. Avoid this kind of attachment. So only be attached to the one called the Lord. That is why Krishna says union with God. When you are one with the divine, yoga means union with God. Got it? When you are one with the divine, you are not a petty human being who is looking for relationships. You have an ongoing relationship with yourself only, isn't it? I love myself. Only one dialogue I can remember from, Jab We Met. I am my best friend, she says, I am my best friend. That is your friend, that is your husband, that is your wife. Your self is your husband and wife. Your self is your thing and self is God Almighty. Please understand this. You are not alone. You are with the self, and self is always with you 24/7. And by the way, self has an ongoing channel. He's got a podcast, broadcast, all those broadcast channels going on, especially Republic TV, like that is going on. Blah, 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 blah. He'll do like that. Don't worry, like Arnab. You know who that person is? Mind. Mind. Mind it. So, like Arnab, you have a mind over there. It's always going to point to constantly. And Krishna is telling you very clearly, overcome your mind. Let it not talk. So here he says, yoga is difficult in achievement. Very difficult in achievement. By one whose mind is not subdued by him. So primary importance is subduing the mind. Why do you allow your mind to talk so much? It is in your hands not to allow your mind to talk. Your mind will talk because it doesn't think that it has anybody with you. You know what I'm saying, isn't it? When you are alone, the mind is talking, not the self. The mind will... You'll keep on doing this, like a mad fellow, going around. Like that kind. Have you seen people on the road, how they'll go about? By the way, the guy who pointed to all those stars is now getting married, I was told. I think kuch hota hai. What is that movie? I've forgotten. Something. Shah Rukh Khan and Kajol and Rani Mukherjee movie. That fellow, Sardarji fellow, he's pointing. He's pointing to the stars and he's counting them. So you become like that only. You will be counting stars during daytime also. If your mind is like that, you are counting like that fellow. Yeah, then now he's going to count something else. He's getting married, I told you. He'll count the days, yaar, kab chutkara milega pata nahi. A star se. Sorry, that was a dirty, stupid joke, okay? Okay. So, mind is the constant talker in your life. It's like you don't get up in the morning, your mind is like, I told you, last night you should have put the alarm for 4:30, man. And you will say, yeah, I should have done that. You would have got up. You don't know. You would have definitely got up. How I will get up? I mean, there's a dialogue between the mind and you, okay? How I will get up? I feel so lazy. I am there now. Don't worry. Today your girlfriend is going to give you a peace of mind. That's why I'll wake you up. If you have some tension on your mind, you will never go to sleep also. You know that or you don't know that? In my ashram, there is a very funny thing that happens. They say that the moon and the sun and the stars, the sun goes round or the moon goes round and the sun is shining and the stars are brightly doing that in fear of Krishna. You know that or you don't know that? It is written in the Bhagavatam that because of they are afraid of Krishna, that is why they are shining. So in my ashram also this funny thing happens. Guruji kya bolega? Guruji, I'm watching you. So you better wake up in the morning. You better get your things done. And if you are late, he's going to come, he's going to come. And if he comes, then he is going to start. See, that fear itself will make you do. Actually, I am not saying that you should be afraid. You know why you are afraid? Person is afraid when they make mistakes. When they deliberately do it or otherwise. A man is only afraid when he does all wrong stuff. Okay? But why will a person be afraid when he is not doing anything wrong? That doesn't give you the right to say, last night I slept very late, that is why I woke up late. No. I'm not doing anything wrong. Sorry, you are doing wrong. Your timing to wake up is 4 o'clock. You better wake up at that time. You can't give me those reasons. Wrong means wrong as per Krishna, not as per you. So this reasoning you can't give. You can't give Krishna reasoning. Okay, one thing you have to know. So here Krishna is saying the same thing. Overcoming the mind is so important. Which simply says that you have to keep your mind in check and control constantly. There was a dialogue which Shah Rukh Khan says in one of Deepika Padukone and the first movie of hers. So he does that role of Rajni sir, South Indian, and he says, "Mind it." Actually, I have never heard Rajnikant say "mind it," but we take it for granted that he must have said something like that. Okay, or was it that Thangavali film? Thangavali, one of the films it was. So he says, "Mind it." Sir, you have to constantly keep on saying this dialogue to yourself. Mind it, sir. You got what I am saying? It is your mind which is talking. So every time when you are thinking, I am thinking in my mind, don't say that. Mind it. You can use this dialogue, Guruji bolta hai sir, mind it. So next time when something is happening, just blame me for it. Guruji said, mind it. So now mind is talking. You will be able to control it. I am not joking. Krishna is saying, see, he's telling you, he's saying something very beautiful. He says, however, one whose mind under one's control, who has his mind under one's control and is ceaselessly striving, you have to keep on striving and striving and striving and striving. Imagine you have to break the world record. Olympics. Are you not going to strive hard? Spirituality is greater than Olympics. So your striving has to be much greater. That means you really have to push yourself so hard. Your studies, in your studies you wanted to come in first class. Yeah, I heard people say that they got just passing marks, it's all right. This is not passing marks, sir. You have to come first in the university. Win some gold medals and all, yeah. So this is worse than that. Okay, you have to not only get a gold medal, you have to get a certificate, and everybody. Certificate is given by only one person. Okay, Krishna University certificate. So you have to control your mind and is ceaselessly striving. It can be easily attained through practice. Such is my conviction. Krishna is telling you, it is his conviction that you can control your mind. Which means you can control your mind. Alright? So don't say I can't control. Don't say, हो गया क्या करेगा? हो गया तो पानी डालो ना. Stupid. हो गया नहीं होना चाहिए. It should not happen. Got it? Should not happen. Should not fall down. There should be no exception. Don't even give an exception. Otherwise, क्या होता है. So now we will be doing a couple of verses because this is questions asked by Arjuna. So we are doing the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 37 onwards. Arjuna said, Krishna, what becomes of the aspirant who, though endowed with faith, has not been able to subdue his passion, whose mind is therefore diverted from yoga at the time of death, and who fails to reach the perfection in yoga, union with God? So the question is very much like exceptions, where everybody loves to make an exception. Arjuna is that guy who loves to make exception. बोले एक वाइफ से काम नहीं चलता है, सुभद्रा एक बहुत नहीं है, अपने को और 5 और चाहिए, मतलब 5 से और मार खाने का है. I mean, just imagine that. Come on. So Arjuna said, Krishna, what becomes of that aspirant who, though endowed with faith, people have this habit of saying, I have faith, I have faith, I have faith. They say this so much, like Arjuna is saying, has not been able to subdue his passion. मतलब चटक है अभी भी, थोड़ा खाने का है. ऐसे लोगों का, those who have that desire, so those who cannot subdue their passion and whose mind is therefore diverted from yoga, their mind is constantly going towards thoda exception, and who fail to reach the perfection in yoga. So what does a person do who is so much flimsy, doesn't have control over his mind, but yet he has faith in you, yet he says, mera Bhagwan hai, my God is there, Krishna, you are there, so I believe you are there, and I believe, complete faith I have in you. Alright, for such a kind of a person, can this person get a little bit disturbed, because desires are there. So verse 38 says, because like I said, this is a question, it's an ongoing question. Krishna, swerved from the path leading to God realization and without anything to stand upon, is he not lost like a scattered cloud, deprived of both God realization and heavenly enjoyment? So two things. He says, one is you are supposed to reach enlightenment. That too anyway is gone. The moment you have desires in your mind, you have so many things, dragging you here, there, your realization is anyway not going to happen, which is, you also know that pass होएगा, certificate मिलेगा, you will pass, you will get a certificate, black color degree. Don't worry, you will be still called some, BCom, BA, BTech, MTech or whatever, but some degree will be there. But you can never say ons. You can, they have that, पता नहीं हो क्या बीटा कप्पा कुछ ऐसे ही कुछ तो भी नाम लेते हैं. Something, you can't have that kind of a degree. Why? All those Greek words that are there, I think they are Greek words, Phi, beta, kappa, something, वो सब नहीं मिलेगा. अपना normal degree coffee, like that, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ adjust ಮಾಡಿ, like that kind of a thing. So what happens to those kind of people who are average, who have so many faults? Anyway, they are not going to get realized. And secondly, and about heavenly enjoyment, will they go to heaven? This is a question asked by Arjuna. So verse 39 says, Krishna, only you are capable to remove this doubt of mine completely. And none other than you can dispel this doubt. So this is a doubt I have in mind. I am sure you also had, when I was telling you about all those mind and all those things, in your own mind you have thought, even after I told you mind it so many times, but still you must be thinking, नहीं यार, थोड़ा exception, I would love to have that exception. What Guruji is saying I cannot achieve, you have already said you cannot achieve. Though Krishna has given an idea, conviction that you can achieve. He has said, has he not said that? He has said, it is my conviction that you can achieve that union with God. And yet, you have that thought in your mind. What happens to me? There is this person who will even write the paper, and the person will say, I don't know how I have done in my examination, correct? I think I will get second class. I think I will fail. I didn't write that question or this question or that question. So there are these people who still have doubts, lingering doubts in their mind. So naturally, Arjuna is having these lingering doubts. And you are the great Arjuna over there. And you are listening to this satsang. So naturally you must be Arjuna. But don't think about 6 wives. Next time they to bolega, Guruji bola, I am the Arjuna. So I will have One here, one there, one there, one there. बोला 6 states में 6 wives रखूंगा मैं. अर्जुना के जैसे कैपेसिटी मांगता है. Please understand, you don't have. So don't go in that direction. Arjuna had a lot of capacity, sir. Not like you. He went to the Himalayas also to meet Shivji. Okay, you can't even go to the neighboring temple. You know, to meet that Shiva in the neighboring temple also is difficult for you. So don't bother about it. So yeah, when I say you are the Arjuna, it is just like an example, you know, just like that. JLT. So Arjuna has these terrible doubts, like you have terrible doubts. How am I going to achieve it? But you know, like yesterday, somebody wrote to me and said, Guruji, the moment you said those words, we thought we are all out of this world of yours. No, doesn't mean that. Sir, in my world, we have a lot of vacancies. Don't worry. First class में अलग रहते. First class में खाली 2 पैसेंजर है. 1 या 2. Rest of the aircraft is there in economy. And nowadays, everything is economy. So don't worry. Everybody can come in economy class. It's an exception. No food. Helmet पहनना पड़ेगा. You have to wear everything. No common food also. And no air hostess is going to come in your department. Okay? And everything is going to be shown on the screen over there. So nobody is going to come and do that. I say, naak pe lagao, ye karo, wo karo. Nothing like that is going to happen. And if you push the button over there, no, nobody is going to come. I will tell you this much. So no perks. But everybody can come in economy class. But why would you want to come in economy class? Don't you want to come first? So Arjuna is giving this idea by Krishna. You have to be the exception in this world. So be the exception in this world. Be the best. Because everybody is average. Everybody has, I have faith. But, I have faith. But, the but always comes in the middle. Why does the but come in the middle? No buts, no ifs and buts. So let us see what Krishna is going to give an answer. So we are doing chapter 6 from the Bhagavad Gita, verse 40. Shri Bhagwan said, Arjuna, there is no fall for him either here or hereafter. For, O my beloved one, none who strives for self-redemption, that is God realization, ever meets with evil destiny. If you have decided that I am your ultimate goal, if you have decided that I am your ultimate goal and that you are in love with me, Krishna says these words. For you, I will see to it that you don't fall down. Okay? Because you have strived so hard as of now. But that doesn't mean that there is no something coming up. The next verse will tell you there is something. But and if in Krishna's world is always there, don't worry. But there is going to be something. So he says, don't worry, you are not going to fall down. Why? Because he says, there is no fall for him either here or hereafter. So till you have come to that point, you will stay there. Here means in this life, and hereafter means the future life. So let us say, some people, they were with me till the chapter 17. Then they left for United States. I told them, you should have completed chapter 18. No. They went there to do business. Now, I told them, don't worry. Next life we will do 18 chapter. So I hope you understand that they will be held in chapter 17 only. So the knowledge up to that level will stay with them. those who have achieved that status in spiritual, you stay at that level, and in your next life you start from there onwards. Sometimes when people ask me this funny question, they say, Guruji, we should have met you many years ago, 20 years ago at least we should have met you. I told them, no, you are meeting me at the right time. Why? In your last life, we have completed up to a certain point. Now this life, we will progress further. Doesn't mean that in this life, you are not going to do revision of the last one, okay? Otherwise, people will say, they'll come, Guruji, 17th chapter to ho gaya, abhi 18th hi karenge. No, nothing like that. No, we have to do from chapter 1 till chapter 18. Fortunately, if you are still around, then I can complete the chapter. Otherwise, I can't. 700 verses means you might have done 600. 100 verses are still balanced. So you can start from 601 only after you have done the revision and given the test for the 600. Did you get what I am saying or no? So you are going to be tested up to that point. So when they say that I have met you after a long time, I should have met you earlier, I say, don't worry. Our story is like a never-ending story, A never-ending story, you know that or you don't know that? There is a very beautiful book in the Middle East, It is called 1001 Nights. Arabian Nights is called. There was this king who couldn't sleep. And then what happened to this fellow was, he couldn't sleep and he told everybody, see, you have to come and tell me stories so that I can go to sleep. And people got exhausted after a few days because you can't have too many stories, no? But there was this young girl who says, I can tell you stories. He says, my punishment is if you don't tell me, if you stop telling stories, you will be cut. Your head will be cut. He says, don't worry, I am not going to die. You may die, I will not die. So I'll continue telling stories. And she tells these stories to the king. And they became the Arabian Nights. That's a very beautiful book you can read. That Aladdin, Sindbad, the sailor. You have heard of all these stories or no? They all come from that book, by the way. So next time when you are thinking of those beautiful stories, remember her. Because she kept that, she kept on telling stories after stories after story. That's why it became 1001 Nights. So like that, it's an ongoing story. So Krishna says, my story with you is ongoing. So when you met me, we are starting from that point. So sometimes I meet people in the early part of my life, sometimes I meet them in the latter half of my life. So it doesn't matter. Until the point where you get tired of me. So if you get tired of me, then you go away. And then, bye-bye, see you next time. Isn't it? So it's like that. So the next life, you will start from where you have left. So there was this person who said to me, I want to complete this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. Itna paise mein itna hi milega. You see, you have come with me in the life only for so many years. So you will get only so much and after that you have to go. Destiny is like that. So next life we will meet again. Okay, so there is no realization there. Okay, got the point? What did Arjuna say? For such a person who has got this problem, can there be self-realization? Not at all. Can he get heavens? Maybe. That we will see. So Krishna says over here something. What does he say? He says, for this person who has achieved this status, what happens to him? What happens to him? There is no fall. So the person doesn't fall down. He stays at that level. For here or hereafter, none who strive for self-redemption ever meets with evil destiny. So such kind of people, they will not meet with evil destiny. It is an important thing that you need to understand. Those who come in connect with Krishna, even for a moment in time, even for a moment in time, they have a personal interaction with him. They may get some discourse from him. Some, maybe a line. Krishna may say, "How are you?" That is it. Even that, just the way you would look at the divine. Do you know, when you go to the temple and by chance you meet the divine, how many seconds do you meet the divine? Less than 1 second. It just comes and it goes. And in that 1 second, you have achieved so many lifetimes jump. Did you understand? So coming in contact with Krishna, even for just that 1 second or that one moment, is the greatest thing that can ever happen to you. And that is why he says, you will not fall down. So all those people who were in connect with Krishna during his lifetime when he was in Vrindavan and various other places, they might have just met him for just a moment. They are assured that they will not have any evil happening to them in the future. So no evil will come to them. Got it? So doesn't that take a lot away from your mind? Such a person, we are doing verse 41 now. Chapter 6, verse 41 from the Bhagavad Gita, such a person who has strayed from yoga obtains the higher worlds, heavens, etc., to which men of meritorious deeds alone are entitled, and having resided there for innumerable years, takes birth of pious and prosperous parents. Now this is an assurance which Krishna has given. If you were to have that faith in Krishna, and yet you fall down, one thing which you will not get is enlightenment will not come to you, that is for sure. But you will get to some heaven. How does a person achieve heaven, When he does a lot of good deeds in his life but doesn't meet Krishna. When a person does lot of good deeds, then he achieves heaven. But that person has to work hard. Here this person which Krishna is talking about has faith in Krishna but has fallen down. And yet Krishna has been kind enough for him. Such a kind of a person who has not acknowledged him but yet has the, nasib, the destiny to meet him. Such a person will go towards a heaven. He will have the heaven, not Krishna's heaven. Krishna's heaven is out of bounds. No visa for that. No passport also. That's a separate color passport, okay? You want to know the color of the passport over there? It is yellow. And maybe some purplish color is there. Alright? Yeah. So anyway, coming back to our story. You will get an entry in a heaven. Remember, you are not going to fall down. You are not going to have evil in your life. Which means going to hell is not there. You will not go to hell. But you will go to some heaven. How many heavens are there? Countless. Countless. Don't worry, there is a very big list which you can definitely, it's a ride, right? Like this, Disneyland ride. Huh? Like that Disney World, Disneyland rides are there. You can select. I want to go to this heaven. And you are going to go and stay in that heaven for how many years? is given here also. Having resided there for innumerable years, take birth of pious and prosperous parents. Why does he have to go to that heaven and stay there for innumerable years? Do you want to know why? See, first, if you have to enter, it is easy because you are carrying one letter, one stamp, on your passport. Entry into Brahma's heaven allowed. And in that it will be written, pass. You can go inside. You can get inside. Getting out is not in your hands. Getting out is for these people who are devoted to Krishna. We are not talking about the general population. Okay. This is like you are working for an airline. You get those, every year you get, I think, 2 or 3 free tickets to, like that it is. Okay. You get free tickets till the time you are working for the airline. Like that. Exactly like that. So, till what time do you get? Till you get Brahma's permission to go. And Brahma will say, give me a minute, And Brahma's minute is equal to 100 years. His 1 second is equal to a big amount of time. So you can imagine a lot of time. He says, the poor, okay, give me some time, okay. I'll see you day after tomorrow. Brahma's 1 day is equal to one entire 4 yugas, okay. So please don't even bother. So you know when you are going to come back. So, you are in queue. आप कतार में हैं. Alright, so like Qatar line, airline के जैसा. कतार में हैं. So you are in queue. So when your queue comes and your number comes, then only you can get out from there. So for innumerable years. See, this is a very funny way of Krishna's talking. It's not easy to understand what he speaks. The reason is because if it was so easy to understand, then anybody would have explained it to you, isn't it? So the innumerable years means like that. It's a code. So, why? Because you have faith in Krishna. See, I can tell you one more thing in this case. Who else has faith in Krishna? Brahmaji himself has faith in him. Brahmaji has, Shiva has, everybody has. They can't say, I don't have faith in Krishna. Can they say that? And he has told Brahmaji, you go handle this heaven for innumerable years. So how much is innumerable years? 1 day of Vishnu. Whose 1 day? Vishnu's 1 day. So he has to get a sanction from Vishnu. Okay, 1 day ho gaya, khatam. Now you go. So Brahmaji can only leave his heaven after that 1 day of Vishnu. Which means how many lifetimes of Brahmaji himself? You can imagine. So there is a problem there. So Brahmaji is also a devotee of Krishna. Not that he isn't. And he is entitled for Krishna's heaven. That much also I can tell you. Everybody is entitled for Krishna's heaven, those who are working up there in heavens, by the way. Why? Because you get the heaven only if you have faith in Krishna. That is what he says. See, the lines are very, very strange. When you have faith in me, and yet you cannot keep up your word, I will see to it that you stay at that level only. I will not allow you to fall down. Which means you are not going to hell. Okay? You are going to heaven only. If you are going to heaven, you will have to go and stay in the heaven for innumerable years. That means for many, many years you will be stuck up over there. Later on, as a human being, you will be given a chance to be born on the earth. Where? In a household where there are good parents. See, the last punchline is there. Takes birth of pious and prosperous parents. So your parents are going to be God-loving and prosperous. Which means you will have enough money at home. So you will have a good life, don't worry. Huh? But you will have to come back again to earth to take birth once again. So we have come to the end of chapter 6, verse 41. Next week we will do verse 42 onwards. There is important verses in that. Okay, so I'll take your leave. You have a great day. I'll see you all in the evening for Das Bol. Bye.